welcome you, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future. So very excited that you're here. We're very glad to be part of Marshfield more directly now, instead of being tucked away outside of town. And it's a big day for us, but really it's not specifically about us. It's about the whole community of Marshfield, right? Because we all play a different part within our communities. And so we're very excited to be here with all of you because this is also your story, right? Being one of our partners. So I'll take you on a tour for, we do all of our manufacturing in the 10,000 square feet over there. And so I'll take you through over there. And so then I will show you guys the lathes first, and then we'll go to the mills, and then we will end in the quality department. So this is where the magic happens right now. So we have basically a general workflow where the material, the solid metal, will get cut and sawed, either on this saw here or the newer one over there. And so then it heads to the CNC machines, gets manufactured, makes a U-turn, goes into the quality department for final inspection, and then gets shipped out here. So everything kind of has a general workflow. That's their oldie but goodie saw. And so what it will do is it cuts the material all automatically. So you put the bar on, you tell it how big of chunks to make, and it just keeps cutting them. And you don't actually have to do it manually. All right, so how many of you guys are really familiar with CNC machining? All right. Okay, so have you seen anybody like do woodworking where they have a wood lathe and they're like carving on the wood as it's spinning, right? That's basically what these machines are doing, but automated and for metal. So you'll see in just a second when you walk up to the window here that the metal is basically spinning, and the tools will come down and it'll carve on it as it's spinning, and then it basically has a turret with 11 different tools, so it can come back, rotate, come in with a new tool. And then the machinist essentially programs the machine to do all that work. And you'll see in a second that when the machine is holding the metal and you're machining it, well, what happens if you want to machine the back side of it? Right? You can't get the tool to it because that's where you're holding it, right? And so we have technology packed into the machine where it can come in, grab the part, move it over, and then machine the back side. So now every time you open the doors of the machine, it's a complete part coming out. So the other thing that this machine can do is it has what's called live tooling. So it can stop spinning, and if you need to punch holes in here, it can actually come in with a drill bit and punch holes all the way around. Or it could even like mill in whatever shapes you need, essentially. So basically it's got milling capabilities stuck inside the lathe. Yeah, so good question. So her question was, is the technology in the Akumas like far greater than like the Haas or the MACCIs? I would say yes. One of the examples is that like if you're making 20,000 of the same part, you understand that part like phenomenally. But if you're making 3 parts, well, you don't have that time to really get to know that part. And so one of the things that's on here is you have to program the speed of the machines and how fast. So you're like, okay, the tool is going to be moving this fast, and it's going to be spinning this fast, and it's going to be digging into this much material. There's a lot of math in there, and you have to optimize all that. And so it's called feeds and speeds. And one of the things that this machine has is that if those feeds in the machine start vibrating in a way that it shouldn't be, it will actually, it has a microphone and will actually automatically compensate and adjust that on the machine to make it run better. Normally the machinist has to listen to the machine and make those adjustments himself. And so they can walk away, the machine can self-compensate. So there's a lot of little technologies like that that's packed into it. Because if you're making 3 parts, you don't have that time to really dial it in really fine like you would if you're making 20,000 parts. So we do what's called low volume, high mix production. We're making 6 of one part, 3 of another part, 100 of another part. We're not making 500,000 of the same part. So these are actually the examples of the tools that are actually doing the cutting when the material's spinning. And so then there's a holder that holds this little tungsten carbide bit. So you can actually pass that around. So that's what the actual tool looks like that carves the metal.
Do you make your own tools then, or are you able to buy it?
No, so we buy those tools. We've made some of our own custom tooling for really unique jobs, but for the most part, you buy standard stuff. Yeah. There's some machinists that are very talented where they can modify these shapes to do unique things. So this would be an example of what's called an end mill. And basically, think of it as a drill bit, but they can move sideways to remove material. So when you have a solid block of metal, it can move in there and remove material. All right. So then basically the lathe, the material's spinning, and the tool is doing the carving. On a mill, the material is standing still, and it's the tool that's spinning. So it's kind of reverse. Our company started back in 1988. It was in an 8 by like 12 or 8 by like 18 shack. It was $50 a month at a farm. And that's where Ken and Sandra started the business. This was the first machine that he bought. It was a manual lathe. And then shortly thereafter, he bought a first manual mill right there. So basically, it's so instead of the machine being programmed to do all the movements, you have to crank the handles by hand. And basically, it's just like that wood lathe, where the material's right there spinning, and then you're carving on it, like with the tool right there. And then we bought our first CNC machine in 1990. And like most companies weren't buying computerized machines yet at that point. And we actually still have that machine. It's still running, still producing parts. It's this guy right behind here. That machine will still hold a 2/10,000ths of an inch tolerance. So in a diameter this big, it can hold the accuracy of a 10,000th of an inch. And so if it's still good, it's good. You said it?
I said that's spot on.
Right? So this is actually the fourth move that this machine has had. Because we were in that shack, and then we were actually on 2nd Street, over by like Weinbrenner Shoes or by the driving academy. And then in 1995, Ken and Sandra built their house, and it's an open-faced basement on a slight hill with a garage door. And they built the house with the machine shop design in the basement. And so we had these 4 CNC machines in the basement of the house, along with these 2 manual machines, and the saw that you saw over there. And they built what we called the shed, but it was a nice steel insulated building back in '98 with the idea of moving the business, expanding the business into there. And it wasn't until 2016 that we actually expanded into that, what we called the shed, because there were snowmobiles and canoes and all sorts of stuff in there. When we brought our first machine in, we were like having to miss the canoe hanging from the ceiling. And now we're in this location. And so we're very excited to be here. But it was really what started our growth in 2016 was the idea that we could do something with our business for our community, right? Because if our company exists just for a bank account, what's the point? There's really no point at the end of the day. Everybody's here for a paycheck, and it's just, there's nothing fulfilling about that. And so we're excited that now that we're in town, we're able to have a more visible and bigger presence and impact. So because we still moved in recently, we're still in the process of getting some of the stuff set up, organized how we actually want it. Like that machine isn't gonna stay there, that's a temporary spot. So we're still in the process of getting everything how we actually are gonna have it long term. But we also do some of our secondary work back here, where you might make a part and it'll just naturally have a little burr on it, and then you just like sand it off or buff it off. We'll do some of the secondary work there. But what programming looks like for the mills is we have really high-end computers that put my souped-up gaming computer to shame at home. And I love giving tours to kids because I ask them like, how many of you are gamers? And then they're like, oh, this is amazing. Basically the computers that we have, essentially we take a 3D CAD model, like a 3D model of the part that we're supposed to make, and then the machinist will take that 3D model and then they basically build like what the block that they're starting with is going to be, like around it, and then they basically program the machine to basically move the tool around to remove the material to get to the final shape. And so, especially doing low volume, high mix production, you're making 3 parts. You might spend 10 hours programming it, 3 hours setting it up, and it could take anywhere from, and now when I say 10 hours programming, it could be a half hour to program, it could be 10 hours to program. And then the runtime could be 30 minutes, it could be 8 hours for that one part. So it just very wildly like what we actually produce. This is a CNC mill. So basically, Do you remember the end mill that would spin and it would remove material? All right, so basically we're starting with a solid block of material like this, all right? And you can see you've got 3 different axes there, all right? So the spindle up top can move left, right, forward, back, up and down. And so then essentially it's removing material as it's moving around, all right? But what's particularly unique about our 5-axis machines is, like if you look at this part, if you want to machine the side of it, you can't do it. You have to pull it out, clamp it back in, machine it. Then you got 6 sides of this. You got to touch that part 6 times. And every time you touch that part, every time you open it, rotate it, clamp it back in, it's not going to be as accurate because what are the chances it gets lined up perfectly? The second thing is that you're limited on how complex of parts you can make. All right, because if you were able to curve the part, you can make really complex stuff. And you'll see that on the machine over there that's running as a demo. And so, for example, this part was done in 2 operations. We held the part right here, and it got machined, and then the table will spin, machine, and then it will spin, machine, spin, machine. And so you're able to hit any of the 5 sides, essentially. So I'll show you some sample parts over here, and these are the fun parts that we get to show off to you on the tour.
So how does that process work?
Yeah, so good question. So some of the customers, it's low volume, but it's repeat work.
Okay.
Some of it is, like for example, one of our customers, they're a big tier 1. They work with GE and NASA and the Army, etc. And it's constant prototyping work.
Okay.
And they work with over 1,000 vendors, and we're one of their top 30 shops. And they basically say, hey, here's 10 jobs. Which ones do you want to do?
Okay.
And then it's so like 90% of our work in the mills, we'll never see those parts again because it's always something new.
So when they say build this part, do they give you some type of print specifications, program?
Good question. So his question was, when they say build this part or manufacture this part, do they give you a print? Do they give you specifications? So what they'll do is they'll give us the 3D model because we need that to program the machines. Not all the machines require that. And then they'll have like a 2D print that says what the tolerance is. So they might have a CAD model, and if this part is this big, this needs to be 2 inches within 1/1000th of an inch. And then the print will say that. And the machinist knows, okay, it needs to be made within 1/1000th of an inch. So they give us a 2D print and a CAD model for that. So manufacturing is definitely not what it was 30 years. That's what I'm told. I wasn't around then. So it's very high-tech manufacturing. It's advanced manufacturing. I mean, many of you here are educators. We have people working here anywhere from no degree to master degrees, and everything in between. Because that's what's required to make your cars drive and flights go up. With the parts that we make. So back here is the quality department. So when we manufacture a part, when the first part that gets made gets an inspection. While the parts are being made, there's ongoing inspection, and then when they're all done, there's a final inspection, right? Because you have to make sure you're thorough. So then we have a variety of inspection tools back here. Hey Kyle, could I grab one of your calipers? Thank you. So we have hand tools, such as this guy. So let me grab one of these guys. This is for the energy industry. So you can have hand tools that can measure a part, and it'll tell me to 1/1000th of an inch, like how big it is, right? And then you can check the holes and whatnot, right? But let's just say with the 5-axis machines, we make a part with really complex geometry. So let's just say we machine out a part that's like a double helix DNA strand, right? Now imagine me trying to measure the geometry of that helical shape. I can't measure with a linear tool, right? So what this guy will do right here, the CMM, it has these probes, and the probe can actually come down and it can probe the part. And then every spot that it probes, you're able to measure to and from. The other thing that it can do is it can actually drag along the surface and pick up thousands of points of data. And so imagine trying to take thousands of points of data, 1,000 measurements within like 30 seconds. You can't do that.
How prevalent is this type of quality tool in manufacturing?
For CNC machining, it's extremely common for companies that are doing aerospace defense and like higher end work. For shops our size, you don't see it. Another variety of inspection equipment, we actually have a camera-based inspection equipment. So you can actually throw a part on here, and actually, he already took a photo of it. So like here's a part that he threw on there, and it's got measurements from each of the features. And you literally throw the part on, hit start, and it will give you measurements instantly. But the limitation is that it's two-dimensional, right? You can't measure the stuff from the sides. That machine can. So every machine does something different, right? And then you have to be able to understand the math and the technology. We have 17 people. We've hired 4 this year already, and we've got 3 people starting next month. There's there's just a little bit of turnover, which is natural.
Sure.
And so I think that'll bring the number to about 18 or 19. Haven't done the math recently. There's been a lot going on with the open house. We actually have twins from Illinois. They're here today. They're starting next month. So, very excited about that.
I want to thank you all for being here. My name is Scott Larson. I'm the Executive Director with the Marshfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's my pleasure and honor to act as your Master of Ceremonies today for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and then we also have an awards presentation. With regard to the ribbon cutting ceremony, what a great honor it's been for us, the Chamber, to help Hastreiter Industries work through this process. I know it's been trying to run a business and then try and move at the same time, as well as the fact that they're in a major growth mode, needless to say, can create a little bit of stress and some issues with keeping production going, but they've done a fabulous job of transitioning through all of that, and it's a real pleasure for us to be here today to help them celebrate the move into the new facility here. Something that was a dream of Ken and Sandra's back in 1988, operating a small business at their home site, continuing to grow that building business through the years. Now the second generation, the sons are involved, and now they're seeing the rapid growth taking place and the need to move into a facility like this, and the high-tech industries and the high-tech processes and machinery that they're using is really a testament to their expertise and, again, the capabilities that are possible here in Marshfield. So again, it's a real pleasure for us to be here and help them celebrate today. So we've got a number of dignitaries that are here going to help us celebrate with them. So let's get started with that. First off, representing the City of Marshfield, our City Administrator, Steve Barth. Steve?
Thank you, Scott. I turn it off. Is it on?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. My privilege to represent the City of Marshfield here today. The Mayor, Bob McManus, could not be here. He let me know yesterday that he had another commitment and would not be able to be part of this ceremony. He does send his best wishes and all his positivity to this event and all the best for this business going forward. And like I said, everything from the council, city staff, and everyone, he wanted it to be known that we are solidly behind you and what you do here. It occurs to me that I've been in local government for 3 decades, which is the same length of time we're talking about with the history of this business. I don't have an entrepreneurial bone in my body. I'm going to be totally honest with you, but I have incredible admiration and respect for those who do. And what Ken and Sandra have done with this business going back to 1988 is nothing short of amazing. They have built from the ground up. They have, maybe in some cases, been in the right place at the right time, but they've used their hard work and labor and skill to create what you're looking at today. The growth that they've seen, especially in the last few years, is nothing short of amazing. So we honor them. We are grateful for them. We're glad to have them here on 29th Street in the City of Marshfield. And on behalf of the City of Marshfield, I just wish you the best. If there's absolutely anything that we can do to help in the future, from big to small, contact one of our staff. I see Josh Miller, our Development Services Director, is here. Others in the city would be glad to help. We want to see you continue to thrive and grow. So congratulations and best wishes in this great new facility.
Steve, we really appreciate your opportunity coming in, being able to fill in for the mayor, and certainly want to recognize all the effort that the city of Marshfield does in helping to make Marshfield a great place to do business. Next up, representing our MACCI Board of Directors, is our president, Matt Eckelberg. Matt?
Well, thank you everyone for coming today. It's so great to celebrate such renewal and regeneration and continued success for the Hastreiter family. Congratulations, 30 plus years in the business. It's remarkable. I love the little bit I know of your story, starting in the small beginnings at home and growing to this facility and hoping filling the facility soon enough. On behalf of the board and the chamber, if you have any questions, concerns, please continue to utilize us. We're here to help you and assist you in what you do, and continued success in the future.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate everything you do too. It's a volunteer position that our board of directors offer up. Those are business people as well, and the fact that they are able and committed to spending time working on the organization is a real benefit to all of us as well. I want to take and recognize a couple of other individuals that are here. They've said they didn't need to speak, but we certainly do want to recognize that they're here and who they represent. Representing U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin's office, Greg Weverneck is here. Greg, thank you for coming. Representing U.S. Senator Ron Johnson's office, Mike Holland is also here. Thank you both for being here and representing the senator's interests. Up next, we have 4 representatives in state government that represent parts of Marshfield, and we have 2 of those individuals that are here today. And the first is representing the 23rd Senate District, Kathy Bernier. Kathy?
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to be out and about in the district. I would like to congratulate Hastreiter Industries for all of your hard work. From what I understand, a bed part, hospital bed part, to all of this. What a wonderful accomplishment. It wasn't long ago that we were hollering for jobs, jobs, jobs. Now we're hollering for people, people, people. So if you are in childbearing years, get to work. I would also like to congratulate you on your Governor's Award for the National Disability Employment Award. That's a big to-do. Yesterday I job shadowed. It was Take Your Legislator to Work Day. I went with Allison, who is disabled, and she works at Waterford Senior Living. So thank you for your commitment to employ the disabled. There is dignity in work, and work brings out the best in people. And if you provide jobs to the disabled, it gives them a feeling of accomplishment and pleasure. And for that, I thank you. So congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have for work here, actually. And thank you all for being here to help them celebrate.
Thank you, Senator, for being here. We appreciate your efforts to make time to be here and the work that you're doing for all of us down in the Madison area. Also here, representing the 86th Assembly District, John Spiros. John?
So I got to follow the childbearing. Jeez, I don't know how. You know, usually when I get up here, I actually can speak. Now I'm like speechless because that caught me so far off guard. But what's fortunate is I'm on 29th Street too, right down the street, from another company that started small, that grew, and look where we are today. And I can say that it's wonderful to see Central Wisconsin companies that have the pride to start with one family member and move on, and look what you've come to. and then getting into aerospace and other things. I mean, really where the future is and what you're doing is outstanding. And then who you employ too. I have to commend you on that. Spend a lot of time out there at other companies, and just, it's a great thing. So I want to thank you for doing that. And thank you for continuing in central Wisconsin. It's a great complex. What you've done to it is just, it's gorgeous. And with that, we'll stop the childbearing stuff. So I do want to say one other thing is, you know, I'm happy the mayor's not here, because every time I walk by and they see the back of my head and gray hair or white hair, hey mayor, I'm not the mayor. I even got tan just so I could be here, because I knew he was whiter than me. So anyways, congratulations.
Likewise, John, we're glad that you could be a part of this with us today, and we really do appreciate your efforts for us in the Marshfield area down in Madison. I did want to recognize too that Senator Jerry Petruski from the 29th Senate District was invited, unfortunately was unable to attend, but certainly does send along his best wishes as well, as does Representative of our 69th Assembly District, Bob Culp. Also unable to attend, but also passes along their best wishes as well. Up next, representing Wood County in District 2 on the Board of Supervisors, who is also Vice Chair, and so she's filling in for Doug Mahan, and we're glad that she could, and glad she's here, Donna Rosar. Donna?
So good morning, everybody. If you know me, you know that I don't have any trouble talking, but sometimes when you don't know exactly about businesses, it's better to work from prepared remarks. So I will do that this morning in my congratulatory remarks. Good morning. On behalf of Chairman Mahan and the Wood County Board of Supervisors, I extend congratulations to Hastreiter Industries Corporation on the expansion of their manufacturing business. In preparing for my remarks, because I didn't know much about the business, I went to the website and learned about the production of the hospital bed part that nobody else could fabricate. I do not know at all what a double helix on the 2-axis manual lathe is, but I can tell you that as a nurse, I'm certain that that creativity and innovation has helped me care for patients over the years. Building on a solid past, the future of your business is exciting to read about. The care you obviously have for your employees, your customers, and your community is evident through your charitable giving and founding of the Shiloh Bound. Thank you for your investment in Wood County. Your genuineness is to be commended, and may the work of your hands be a blessing to all you connect with over the years. Wishes for every future success. Thank you again for making Wood County your home, and congratulations.
And again, thank you, Donna, for those remarks, and thank you. She's a great advocate for North Wood County on the county board, and we appreciate having her representing us at the county level. Well, now we've come to that time where we're here to hear from the family. So a little bit more about what's gone into this process. So I'm going to ask Kylan Hastreiter to come up and tell us about a little bit more about the project and kind of what we're all standing in here today. So Kylan, come on up.
All right, well, thank you all for being here. I'm very blown away by everybody that's here. It's very special to see all of you here. As a company, this day really isn't just about us. It's about everybody that has partnered with us, that has stood behind us, that has worked with us, whether it's our vendors, our suppliers, our education partners, the community, the city of Marshfield, our employees. Everybody here is part of the story that has created this success. And from this success, we're able to support charities, to create work environments that allow people to be successful personally and support their families. And so we just thank you all for being here. That this day really isn't specifically about Hastreiter Industries, it's about the community that we have in Marshfield and central Wisconsin. And so once again, I want to thank you all for being here. As a company, we're very excited to be moving and expanding back into Marshfield. The company started in, what was it, by like a 12 by 18 shack that was $50 a month at a farm. It wasn't even wired. Ken had to add electricity to the building back in '88. We then moved into 2nd Street in Marshfield, and then shortly thereafter they moved the business to their home in '95. And we stayed as a very small shop for a lot of years. They were happy and content with where we were at. But in 2016, with me and my brothers joining the company, we wanted to grow the company so that we could make a difference, that we could make an impact. That's why we have the nonprofit Shilohbound that we're working on. We're in the process of launching a makerspace with Stevens Point and other partners, MACCI and so on, Mid-State. And so we are here as a company because we want to do good for our community, for our customers, for our employees. And we thank you all for being part of that story to make a difference. And because as a company, we're making aerospace parts that are going up into space. We're making defense parts. Can't say what those are. We're making energy parts, energy parts that allow you to drive to work. The parts that are going on to oil rigs or wind turbines. And so it's really neat to see that we have an impact in everybody's lives to an extent. But most of Marshfield doesn't know what goes on in the industrial park, right? Because it typically is closed away. And that's one of the reasons why we're excited to have you all here, is that we're able to open up those doors, to show the world what it is that we do, for really our nation and our local community here. And so as a company, we want to continue to grow, really, so that we can continue to grow that impact. In 2017, we grew by 75%. In 2018, it was over 50%. And we're able to move forward because we have such great employees, right? We have such a special community here in Marshfield, and we just thank you all for being part of this story.
All right, now we come to the actual ribbon cutting part. So I'm going to ask the family now to come on up here, spread out across the ribbon. Go ahead, everybody, line up across there. I'll do a 1, 2, 3. One. Yeah, no worker comp claims here this morning. 2, 3. All right. Congratulations. I know it's been a lot of work getting to this point, and just say how pleased we are again to be a part of this celebration with you and to help you through the process in a little way. But we appreciate that. We look forward to your continued growth and all the best that comes with that and all those efforts. Now, that'll conclude the ribbon cutting part, but this is a twofer day here, so we've got an award ceremony. So now we're going to transition to the award ceremony. And I'll introduce Ray Rogers, who's the Business Services Specialist with the North Central Wisconsin Regional Workforce Development Board, is here to help comment. They were the nominees, or the nominator for Hastreiter Industries was the nominee for the award. So, Ray, you want to come on up and
Sure.
Tell a little bit about the nomination process and the Workforce Development Board's role.
Oh, good morning. What a terrific crowd. Wonderful here. I just have a few notes, and then I have a message from my director, Derek Heikkinen. On behalf of the Workforce Development Board, we're really honored to be here today and really appreciate the invitation. Derek mostly started working with the Hastreiter family, about 3 years ago. And through their meetings and discussions, they talked about the Central Wisconsin Metal Manufacturers Alliance and some of the services that the board also can extend to them. and Derek referred Kylan to DVR for their services just because of what they were interested in. And that's part of the reason why we're here today, is for that wonderful award. But I have a few words from Derek, who couldn't be here today. And he goes on, congratulations to Kylan, Ken, and the rest of the Hastreiter family in getting the opportunity to get to know you these past few years. He goes on, I can honestly say it has truly been my honor and privilege. I apologize for not being in attendance today, as my work has taken me elsewhere. However, I can say the following with honest sentiments. The Hastreiter family isn't just a company. It's a family that sees nothing but the good in others and their community. They truly are a beacon of success in our regional economy. Because of their values and outlook on the world today, nobody deserves this award more in north central Wisconsin or the state, in my opinion, Derek's opinion. And I'm sure far more awards are in tow for the Hastreiter family. So I thank you and wish the Hastreiters all the best.
Thank you, Ray. I'm glad that you could represent the Workforce Development Board here today. Through the Chamber, we do a lot of work with the Workforce Development Board. They're a great resource, a great partner. Obviously, as was mentioned, talent is something that's vitally needed for so many of our business sectors here in the state, and particularly here in the Marshfield area. And the more tools and partners we have to work with, the better we can try and address those issues. Next up, representing WDA, its director, its Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, and who will also be presenting the award, is Patricia Nolan. Patricia?
Good morning, and thank you for having me today. And thanks to everyone who worked so hard putting this awesome celebration and recognition event together. We're just very happy that we get to share in this with you. I am Patricia Noland. I am the director for the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, serving North Central Wisconsin. For those of you that don't know, DVR is a state agency that helps people with disabilities find employment. And throughout the month of October, we celebrate what's called National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And basically the month is dedicated to really highlighting the importance of having a diverse and inclusive workforce. Without employers recognizing the skills that individuals we serve bring to the workforce in providing an opportunity, the countless successful employment connections made through DVR and other disability organizations would not be possible. So this month, DWD representatives travel around the state, really recognizing the businesses that have gone above and beyond in recognizing the value that people with disabilities have. One such business is Hastreiter Industries Corporation. Hastreiter was happy to hire a DVR consumer who is sight impaired for a quality control position, and worked with DVR quite a bit by working with us on accommodations and maybe picking up some different types of tools that would help Tia overcome basically to help her do her job. And we also work together on purchasing some virtual reality goggles that are really pretty cool. DVR looks forward to maintaining and expanding this valuable partnership going forward. Individuals with disabilities want to work, and time again, they prove that their many skills and abilities make them the best workers an employer has. Simply put, no one should feel that their disability prevents them from getting into the workforce and on the path of upward economic mobility. That's why DVR, our partners and employers like Hastreiter Industries are so important. You aren't simply helping an individual get a job. You really are changing their lives, and not only the lives of those employees, but also the lives of their family members and other individuals with disabilities who observe those you employ in their work settings. So, once again, congratulations, and thank you on behalf of the Department of Workforce Development and from DVR for all that you do to support Wisconsin's economy. And for all of you businesses out there who have jobs, we have people. So we'll hang around and we can talk afterwards. At this time, it is my pleasure to present Governor Evers' Exemplary Employer Award, recognizing Hastreiter Industries' dedication to an inclusive workforce. Congratulations.
Go ahead, we've got a nice grouping here for photos, so go ahead.
Thank you all for being here.
All right, and again, thank you all for being here today. This will end the formal portion of the ribbon cutting and the award presentation for Hastreiter Industries. Certainly, you can see, though, that there are more opportunities here, so please do stick around. There's tour opportunities, there's refreshments. They've got the Business Expo that's going on, the Tech Expo that's going on here as well. So we encourage you, please stay, partake of those other events that are going on. And again, on behalf of the Marshfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I'm Scott Larson, and that'll conclude our ribbon cutting ceremony for Hastreiter Industries. Thank you.